Hi, gang, it's Adam.
And Patrick.
Coming up on today's episode, we tackle our Tweedledee's most pressing questions in our feature segment, Questions and Peter Panswers. As always, we cover the latest Disney news and close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Patrick Cheddar Bay Biscuits Kazuki.
Delicious. Adam Sparkler Hummel.
Sparkling personality, is that where you're drawing the connection?
Absolutely. That and also just those little handheld sparklers that I pretend are Harry Potter wands.
Oh. Is that what you're going to do today? We should let everyone know we're recording on the 4th of July.
Yes, that is all I'm going to do today. I'm just going to stand outside and say, Akio, beer. And then beer will come to me.
Well, happy 4th of July, Patrick.
Happy July the 4th to you, Adam.
It is our country's Independence Day.
Sure.
Remember when those aliens came down and they were like attacking our country? And then Bill Pullman was like, not today, aliens.
You know, it's not far from what's happening right now. Let's be very clear.
I know. Would you be surprised if that actually happened in 2020?
No, nothing shocks me anymore, Adam. Not one thing.
Well, we wish a belated happy 4th of July to everyone who's celebrating these days. We know you have to do it remotely. And what we're also doing remotely is recording, Patrick. We are still apart.
We are still apart, yet emotionally connected.
Tell everybody what I'm feeling right now.
You're feeling disappointed that you're not intoxicated right now.
That's exactly right.
I knew it. I knew it.
The greatest of all emotions, disappointment.
It's the only one I know lately.
What I'm not disappointed about is that Amanda filled in for me last week, and wasn't she just fabulous?
She is taking over the pod. Let's be clear. Let's just give it to her.
You know what I don't like about Amanda?
Oh.
There's only really one thing, Patrick, and that's that she kind of heightens the podcast to a level that we don't normally like to take it. You know, it's like the great dream of what the podcast could be, and I like to think that our line of where we like to keep things is quite lower than where Amanda likes to take it.
Yes, she brings a level of sophistication that you and I have not been gifted with.
Yes, that is truly how Amanda would say it, as opposed to the crap way that I said it.
I'm just channeling my inner Amanda right now. I'm also emotionally connected to Amanda.
So many emotional connects for you.
I get so emotional, Adam.
Well, I really have to thank Amanda. She was fantastic. And I think to bring it back down to the level where we normally like it, I'm just going to smudge the podcast and say fart, poop, butt, turd.
Welcome back, Adam. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, dear. Well, Adam, beyond the 4th of July, this week gives Disney some very exciting celebrations. We have the reopening of Downtown Disney District in California on July 9th. And then, of course, on July 11th, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom will both have reopened.
Will they?
Oh, we'll see. I don't know. By the time we get to the news, things may have drastically changed.
It's like, just wait a minute and wait for a new news update from Disney. Who knows how this could go?
It's true. I feel like before each statement lately, we have to say, as of this recording, this is true.
That's absolutely right, Patrick. As of this recording, we just need to let you know that as of this recording, things we're saying as of this recording could change as of this recording.
Say as of this recording one more time.
As of this recording.
Thank you so much.
Well, it'll be exciting to see folks experiencing Disney again, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes. And if it does happen, I know you all know this, but stay safe, everybody. Put your mask on. Treat the cast members with the most kindness you can muster up, please.
Please do that. That was so smartly said, Patrick. Be kind.
Amen.
Speaking of kind, Patrick, someone was very kind to us. We have a brand new Patreon family member, Michael.
Michael,
welcome to the fam, bro.
Wow, you're out of practice, Adam. You're out of practice. You took a week off, and it's all mushmouth today.
I feel good about it. I became a college frat boy during my time away.
Ooh, Ooh, good for you.
It's so exciting to have Michael on board. We are so grateful to all of our Patreon family members. And Patrick, if there's someone out there who's like, how can I do it? How can they do it, Patrick?
Such a good question. So glad you asked. If you would like to be a Patreon member of Gaze Do the D, you can head over to gazedothed.com and click on that donate button, where for as little as $1 reoccurring a month, you, my friends, can be a Patreon family member, where you'll get extra bonuses like additional episodes of Gaze Do the D called Gaze Do the D Raw and Uncut.
Raw and uncut.
So beautiful, so beautiful. And once in a while, we have additional perks like Patreon-only giveaways.
As of this recording, that is.
As of this recording, we are doing Patreon-only giveaways. Who can say what's going to happen in 10 minutes from now? But let's try to keep that dream alive, everybody, right?
Absolutely. And again, thank you, Michael, and thank you to all of our patrons. We sincerely appreciate everything you do for us in keeping Gaze Do the D running.
Thank you so much. Adam, let's continue with the celebrations, shall we? With some anniversaries.
I'm very excited. Are there 50?
There's not. There's only 5 of them, most of them live action.
Get out of here.
Which means you probably have not seen them.
That's very true. I probably haven't.
Well, let's start with the youngest one, turning 2 years old, released on July 6th, 2018, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Saint it.
I love that movie. It's such a funny Marvel vehicle.
I love Paul Rudd.
End of sentence.
End of sentence. I love Paul Rudd, period, as the kids say nowadays.
They do say that. Yeah, he's a gem that must be protected. He's a precious stone.
Did you know I saw him live once?
On stage?
I was attending a taping of the Conan O'Brien show back when he was on NBC, and Paul Rudd was a guest, and he was wearing a very smart corduroy suit, and I was charmed, Patrick.
I love that. Didn't he used to do a bit where he would go on talk shows and then like push a clip of a movie that he's going to be in, but it's not a movie at all that he's going to be in?
It is only when he goes on Conan, and he does it to this day. And whenever he's promoting a movie, instead of showing a clip from the movie, he shows a clip from the 1980s classic film Mac and Me.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So if you ever want to see it in action, I'm sure there's a super cut of it on YouTube. It is truly hilarious. Every single time he's promoting a movie,
that's the best.
He shows that same clip of a boy in a wheelchair flying off. It's not funny to laugh at, but it is because it looks so ridiculous. The boy is flying off a cliff in his wheelchair, and then Mac, the alien, it was kind of like a ripoff of E.T., right? Mac pops up out of a bush and goes like, oh, and that's it.
That's amazing. That is comic gold.
Oh, it's not right, but it's right. You know, it's right.
Yeah. Yep. It's all the things. It's all the things. Well, I'll tell you what is right, Adam, is the next anniversary, turning 3 years old, released on July 7th, 2017, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay, this was the first Spider-Man movie, right, of the Tom Holland series?
Yes, this was the first major Tom Holland Spider-Man vehicle. That was his own movie.
Would you say that this truly awakened you to Tom Holland as a performer?
I mean, yeah. And I don't feel bad saying that anymore because he was not a teenager when he filmed this. Yes, he's playing a teenager in the movie, but let's be very clear. Patrick knows that he's an adult, and so I can objectify him.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone knows that. And if they don't, shame on you for not knowing Tom Holland's real age, which is 48.
I wish Tom Holland would do some homecoming at my house. You know what I'm saying? What?
Just swing by and do some homecoming?
Oh, man. We have to move on immediately.
It's so good to be back.
He's back, everyone. All right, well, moving on to the next anniversary, turning 17 years old. This makes me feel very old. Released on July 9th, 2003, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
I was 2 when it came out.
Okay.
We all know my true passion for these films. Was this the first, second, third, fourth one?
Yes, it was one of those numbers.
Okay, great. I loved this one.
That was so sincere.
Remember when Johnny Depp had his hair and there were beads in it and he was kind of swanning about the screen and you were like, is he drunk or is he gay? I don't know, but that was this one, right?
Yep. You just described this movie only.
Great. I really love this one. I own it on Blu-ray.
I feel like I need to bust out my Blu-ray because if the internet ever goes down, I mean, it's just going to be like I may as well live in the woods.
Yeah, you're a prepper. You have a Blu-ray.
I do have a Blu-ray, actually. I need to bust it out just in case. You never know.
You do. You never know when this whole grid is going to collapse. It'll probably be when the aliens, come down on Independence Day and Bill Pullman. 2020.
Yep, it's all happening. It's all happening. Well, speaking of technology going awry, Adam, turning 38 years old, released on July 9th, 1982, Tron.
Oh, Tron. This was a moment, Patrick. It still is a moment. It's a vibe.
It's a movement almost.
Have you seen Tron?
Oh, of course, yeah.
How do you feel about Tron?
Tron is not a great movie, but it was such a spectacular leap forward in how movies are made that we owe a lot of what we see now digitally and what we see with special effects. We owe it a lot to this movie.
Am I recording a podcast with Siskel and Ebert right now?
Hot take, everyone. Tron.
Wow. No, that was actually really well said. I totally agree. I don't think it's a great film, but it made so much more possible, right? It took a huge leap forward. And I always found very disturbing the glowing on their faces. Like, it was just very off-putting to me.
Have you seen that episode of Prop Culture yet on Disney Plus where they go over Tron?
I have not. I really need to start watching Prop Culture. I haven't even dipped my toe into Prop Culture yet.
Oh, well, do yourself a favor and watch that episode. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, and the guys in Tron are hot, though, in real life, IRL.
True story. True story. Speaking of hot in real life, Adam, our last movie to talk about is turning 39 years old, released on July 10th, 1981, The Fox and the Hound.
Why, Patrick Kozicki, we did a take 2 of The Fox and the Hound.
We sure did. Kurt Russell,
dimples. He's got some dimples just like you.
Oh, yep. Kurt Russell and I are basically the same.
I have some dimples these days, but they're not in my cheeks. They're more like in the back of my legs and my stomach.
Oh, okay.
Is that TMI?
That is information. I don't know if it's too much, but it is information.
The quarantine carrot cake reserve I have is really catching up with me.
Oh, now I want carrot cake.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's all we have today on Case to the D.
Time to break open my carrot cake vault.
Oh, dream big.
Yeah. What a wonderful collection of movies to celebrate.
Thank you. I curated it myself, so I appreciate that.
We owe it all to you, Patrick. Every single film.
You're welcome, America. And happy anniversaries. The Fox and the Hound, Tron, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes.
Speaking of major motion pictures that are about to be classics.
Where are you going with this?
You have an Instagram Live coming up.
Yes, which is bound to be made into a movie.
I think so. Why not? You guys were so fantastic the last time you did this, so I'm excited to see that you're doing it again.
Well, thank you. Of course, you're referring to Ben from Once Upon a Scream podcast. We are both going to be doing an Instagram live show this Wednesday, July 8th. It'll be at 3 p.m. Central Time. And if you're in the UK, it is 9 p.m. UK time.
Who stays up till 9 p.m.?
Just Ben. It'll just be Ben and America.
What are you guys going to be focusing on this time? Are you just taking questions? Are you just going to have some fun? Are you going to be watching something? What's going on?
Who can say? I think we're just going to let Mickey take the wheel on this one. We're going to talk about Disney, what we're watching on Disney Plus, maybe play some games, get wildly intoxicated. Who knows what'll happen?
You guys should also review the latest Jeffree Star palette.
I'm going to write that down right now. It's going to happen.
Yeah, thank you.
What a gift. What a gift.
Well, that's very exciting. I can't wait to tune in and see what you two crazy cats get up to.
Well, thank you. Yeah, to look for GDTD Live or Upon a Scream Live. That is their Instagram handle, at Upon a Scream. And while you're at it, check out their podcast. They are amazing. We've talked about them a little bit before, but they are a Disney/horror podcast. So every other episode is either a Disney movie or a horror movie, which is the greatest idea in the world.
It seems very on brand for this year.
Yes, absolutely. Every other day for me is either Disney or just a full-on horror film.
Well, speaking of Disney, and when aren't we on Gays Do the D?
I mean, it's really all we have.
There's a couple of things on Disney Plus right now that are really doing it for us. Right, Patrick?
Yes. The D is doing it for the gays.
First up, the trailer for Muppets Now came out last week. And Patrick, give me all of your thoughts.
Very exciting. I laughed out loud a few times. It looks amazing. I can't wait. I love that they're sort of teasing that they're not going to tell us really what it's about. But if you go online, they're sort of touting it as an unscripted, quote unquote, show. So it would be sort of like a late night show, kind of a reimagining of the old Muppet Show.
Yeah, celebrity guests. First of all, that's a big check for me. A good check, because the old Muppet Show used to have fantastic celebrity guests. And it looks like in the interview segments that the celebrities are doing with the Muppets, it looks like they're having fully improvised moments, like just unscripted, like back and forth. It looks delightful.
Yeah, I can't wait. I don't know if you said or not, but it comes out on July 31st.
Yeah, we'll see. We don't know.
Yeah, as of this recording, it is being released on July 31st.
One thing I wanted to bring up was Into the Unknown making of Frozen 2, because I checked that out last week. And it is a really fascinating look at what it took to make Frozen 2 a reality.
Yes, it's so well done. And it makes me realize that I could never, ever be an animator.
Same, Patrick. I mean, to see these animators work on seconds long of footage for months at a time, it must be maddening. I mean, I'm sure they're in love with it because it's their passion, but to me, that would just be insanity.
Just a moment of a film takes a year sometimes to animate. That is some dedication, my friend.
And I also really appreciated the fact that they didn't sugarcoat everything. Like, there was some really kind of unflattering moments where there was some real conflict in the making of this film, and some moments where they didn't know what they were going to do. I was so shocked to learn that when the first trailer came out, they basically had something like 15% of the movie completed, and that's just bonkers to me.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I loved the part where they're talking about the song Show Yourself and whether or not it was going to be in the movie, which I can't imagine that it wouldn't have been in the movie, knowing how powerful that moment is now. But it's so interesting because when you think about it, it is a really delicate moment in the movie where if they got it wrong, it wouldn't have made any sense at all.
Yes, and if I may reveal something about myself while watching it, I teared up several times, including that moment where they finally cracked Show Yourself and they were able to record it with the orchestra. And there were just so many moments like that where these kind of successes were achieved, and it became quite an emotional experience to watch.
100%. I don't know if it's because it's so well done or because I am desperate for emotions lately or a connection. But I absolutely connected to this documentary.
So check it out if you get the chance. It's called Into the Unknown, Making of Frozen 2, and it's on Disney+. And last but not least, we need to mention, of course, Patrick, Hamilton is now on Disney+.
Hamilton is on Disney+. The world turned upside down, Adam.
How proud of me are you that I have now seen Hamilton, Patrick?
I'm so proud, Adam. You have finally stepped into pop culture officially.
Thank you so much. It is phenomenal. We won't talk about it that much because people are still going to be watching it when this episode comes out, but it is truly, truly an incredible experience. You still get the sense that it's a stage production, but they've added these great kind of cinematic elements to it. So if you get a chance, and you have a chance, if you have Disney Plus, check out Hamilton. Patrick, were you able to watch it yet?
Oh, absolutely. I've actually watched it twice now so far. And there is a little extra, if you go into the extras portion of the movie, where there's an interview with the cast. And it looks like a very recent interview because they're all on Zoom.
Fantastic. I need to check that out.
What's so fascinating about this is that, of course, at the time it happened, this conversation was happening, but it's re-happening now of how easy it is to use colorful casting in a show. I almost called it a movie, but it is a movie. But this production proves everyone wrong that it's hard to make colorful casting choices. Like, if you can take the founding fathers and put people of color in those roles and no one questions it, then you can do that for any show. That's my little plug for for Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on in the world right now. Watch this movie. It'll change your mind on so many issues.
Yes, please watch it. And you know what I was thinking when I was watching it? They should put this up on Broadway or something.
What a novel idea.
Also, I just want to mention that a lot of the cast are very attractive, so that's another reason to watch it.
I feel like every person on that stage in their personal lives is the coolest person in the room at all times.
I applaud the costumer because putting fit men and women dancers in vests with no shirts underneath, good job.
Well done. Well done.
Hamilton. They should call it Hot Molten.
Oh, okay. You're getting further away from from the point of Hamilton, but I applaud you.
Thank you.
Well, before we move on, Adam, we should take a pause to remind everybody that we have a couple of new links on gazetothed.com. There is the coronavirus relief tab where you can click and donate money that goes to a plethora of organizations that are in need right now due to COVID-19. And we also have a community recovery and resources tab, which features links to anti-racism resources and recovery efforts for communities that were impacted by the riots across the country. And we also have listed some Black-owned Disney shops as well that you should check out.
That's right. That list continues to grow. We actually had a listener submit an article regarding how people can support small Black-owned businesses during this time.
I love that. I love our Tweedledees. They're so informative.
Unlike us, which is great that they're here to help.
That's right. We're doing our part. We're learning, we're growing, and we have the support of our vastly smarter Tweedledees.
And to continue the conversation, Patrick, about helping community organizations, we should talk about the Trans Justice Funding Project and our June merch sales donation total.
Yes, please.
For those that don't know, all of our merch sales for June and a little bit into this month are going to be donated to the Trans Justice Funding Project. And Patrick, would you like to reveal the total amount that we will be donating to the Trans Justice Funding Project?
Absolutely. So we should also include, Adam, that we have decided to match whatever we received in merch sales from our Patreon fund to donate directly to the Trans Justice Funding Project. So we are donating a total of $300. So thank you, everybody who made a purchase.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We know the Trans Justice Funding Project will appreciate it. The Trans Justice Funding Project is a community-led funding initiative founded in 2012 to support grassroots trans justice groups run by and for trans people. They promote leadership of trans people organizing around experiences with racism, economic injustice, trans misogyny, ableism, immigration, incarceration, and other intersecting oppressions. Every penny the Trans Justice Funding Project raises goes to their grantees with no restrictions and no strings attached because they truly believe in trans leadership. To learn more about the Trans Justice Funding Project, visit transjusticefundingproject.org and follow them on Instagram and Twitter at transjusticefp. So every penny of that $300 we're donating will go to their grantees.
Yes, indeed. So thank you again to everybody who purchased some Gays Do the D merch. It all is going to an amazing cause.
And now, Patrick, as of this recording, it's time to head into the news, which we will be covering as of this recording. And as of this recording, we'll be covering some news as of this recording.
I think we've covered our bases as of this recording.
We'll begin with a COVID-19 update. First up, Walt Disney World. D23, the official Disney fan club, has announced that it will postpone Destination D Fantastic Worlds, which was scheduled to take place in November at Walt Disney World Resort. The biennial Destination D event, which alternates with D23 Expo, will be moved to a yet-to-be-announced date in 2021. Destination D Fantastic Worlds was to honor Disney's many magical places from the extraordinary to the fantastical, an all-new exhibit created by the Walt Disney Archives, including 50 iconic treasures representing the 50 years of the archives, was to be featured at the event. D23 will continue to host virtual events throughout the rest of the year. Moving on, despite Cirque du Soleil filing for bankruptcy last week as a result of the pandemic, tickets are now on sale for the company's new production, Drawn to Life, at Disney Springs. Originally scheduled to open on April 17th, 2020, the first performance of Drawn to Life is now scheduled for November 5th, 2020. The show will perform daily at 5:30 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday, with tickets starting at $79. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit cirquedusoleil.com/drawn to life. We also learned last week that Actors Equity has rejected Walt Disney World's coronavirus safety plan because the proposal does not include coronavirus testing for performers. Mary McCall, executive director of Actors Equity Association, said in a statement last week, quote, "It is deeply disturbing that while coronavirus cases in Florida surge, Disney is refusing to provide regular testing to one of the few groups of workers in the park who, by the very nature of their jobs, cannot use personal protective equipment. Now is the time for Disney to pause, focus on the science, and put the safety of their actors and stage managers first by making regular testing available," end quote. According to a July 1st, 2020 Deadline article, Equity's leadership has been conducting Zoom meetings with members during the past week to discuss the Orlando situation. The executive committee now is calling on members to speak out on the matter. It's also important to note that Actors Equity does not represent Disneyland Parks performers. So, Patrick, Actors Equity not very happy with Walt Disney World right now.
Sounds like it. I totally understand, though. I would absolutely insist on all of the protections necessary if I was going to go back to perform in the parks. I feel like a lot of the performers are in positions where they have to be close to each other, and so this just makes sense that they would want to be as safe as possible.
Next, a rumor about minivan service. The official Walt Disney World ride service launched in 2017 in conjunction with Lyft may be on the chopping block. Word is Disney is concerned for the safety of the minivan drivers, but the service has often been called out by guests as being overpriced and inconvenient during busy times like park open and park close. Patrick, did you ever take advantage of minivan service?
I never have. I never needed to. I'm always usually by myself, so a minivan seems a little ostentatious for one person.
Treat yourself, Patrick. Luxury.
Fair. That's fair.
Before we wrap up this update with news from Disneyland, a cancellation that covers both domestic parks, the 2020 Fall Disney College program has been suspended at Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort. College program participants started to receive email notification of the suspension last week. Disney explained in the emails that eligibility requirements for all programs will be amended so those participants who have already been accepted will be able to reapply even if they have already graduated, and all program fees will be refunded. Moving over to Disneyland, the spike in California virus cases has led Governor Gavin Newsom to order the shutdown of Orange County indoor operations like restaurants, movie theaters, and family entertainment. Businesses with outdoor capacity can keep those areas open, but bars must close all operations completely. In the wake of this news, as of this recording, there we go, Patrick, downtown Disney District is still planning to reopen to the public on Thursday, July 9th, with cast member previews on Wednesday, July 8th. Per Governor Newsom's order, restaurants in downtown Disney will be required to strictly use outdoor seating or remain closed until the order is lifted. At this point, Patrick, it feels a little bit like one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah, it actually feels like one step forward, 4 months back.
You went there. Damn, Patrick.
I went there. Sorry about it.
The more we see these cases spiking, I don't know, Patrick, I think we've got to really just rethink all of this. I know there's people that need to go back to work, but everyone's health and safety should be at the forefront, right?
100%. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I believe as of this recording, Florida is approaching 200,000 cases, which is incredibly disturbing. So I don't know, man. I don't see how Disney World can open with the spikes in COVID-19 cases. It seems really dangerous right now. I know that sounds like a downer point of view, but I don't know. The science is showing us the way right now.
Yeah, it's time for Walt Disney World to make a statement. It's getting to be very scary down in Florida, and the amount of states outside of Florida that are requiring people who have been to Florida to then quarantine after their visits to Florida, I just don't think it's worth it to anyone to visit.
No, it's pretty bonkers. I mean, we all are desperate for some magic. We, as Disney fans, are desperate to get back into the parks and to have some moments of joy, but that can't come at the cost of anyone's safety.
May I ask if the reason that you're so passionate about that is because you're going to sneak down to Walt Disney World when no one else is there?
That is my only goal here, is to keep everyone home so I can enjoy the rides by myself.
Gotcha.
Oh, man. Fans of the Disney Plus original series The Mandalorian have something exciting to look forward to beyond their back-ordered Baby Yoda dolls. For those looking for more printed material on the show, Adam, this is the way.
Oh, it's like the guy in the show.
He said it. So this fall, a new publishing program will launch a series of books centered around The Mandalorian, including novels, children's books, coloring books, and comics. Among some of the titles you can look forward to are The Art of the Mandalorian, Season 1 by Phil Szostak, The Mandalorian, an original novel by Adam Christopher, The Mandalorian, The Ultimate Visual Guide by Pablo Hidalgo, a series of comics from Marvel and IDW Publishing, and coloring and activity books by Crayola. Now, these are just a small handful of the titles that will come out this fall through spring of 2021. To see a list of additional titles and a sneak peek at some of the artwork, head over to starwars.com.
All I heard was coloring books.
I'm actually super excited about that. You know I'm going to be purchasing some coloring and activity books.
We should have a color off.
This is a great idea. It seems rife for podcasting.
We'll take it to the Soch, Patrick. We will both color the identical image of Baby Yoda. We will post it to our Instagram, and the Tweedles can vote on which one colored the best. Basically, stayed inside the lines, so to speak.
This feels like you're setting me up for failure, so thank you for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
This is your way.
Margot Robbie. Is it Robbie or Robbie, Patrick? Robbie, right?
I say Robbie, and that must be it, because that's what I say.
Okay. Margot Robbie is setting sail in a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie for Disney. The bombshell, Birds of Prey, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood actor will star in a separate film from the Pirates franchise reboot being developed by Pirates scribe Ted Elliott and Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin. Birds of Prey writer Christina Hodson will write the script. According to a June 26th, 2020 The Hollywood Reporter exclusive, quote, the film is in early development and is not intended to be a spin-off of the long-running franchise that had Pirate Jack Sparrow at its center, but rather a wholly original story with new characters under the Pirates moniker, itself inspired by the long-running attraction at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Patrick, we're getting a Pirates cinematic universe.
I'm actually excited about this. For a hot second, I was like, do we need more? But knowing that it's going to be its own entity, I feel like this has major potential.
I agree. I love Margot Robbie. And like you, I'm excited to see where this story could go.
Do you think she's going to play the Redhead?
That's a very interesting question. Is she going to be red? You know, there was a story a couple of weeks ago that said that the reboot of the franchise was also going to have a female lead, but I could also see Margot slapping on a wig and being red.
I love this. I think this is the way to go. Disney, if you're listening, make that happen.
Oh, they're listening, Patrick. They have nothing else to do right now.
I will audition to play the super happy pig that's just wallowing in the mud. This July 31st, I will be taking a day off of work so I can celebrate the release of Beyoncé's newest visual album, Black is King. The album was written, directed, and executive produced by the Queen herself, Beyoncé, and it will stream exclusively on Disney+. This album is based on the music from Beyoncé's curated soundtrack, The Lion King, The Gift, which was, of course, a companion piece to the remake of The Lion King. A joint press release from Disney and Parkwood Entertainment says the visual album reimagines the lessons of The Lion King for today's young kings and queens in search of their own crowns. These timeless lessons are revealed and reflected through Black voices of today, now sitting in their own power. Black is King is an affirmation of a grand purpose with lush visuals that will celebrate Black resilience and culture. The film highlights the beauty of tradition and Black excellence. The announcement of the new album came just after Beyoncé dropped her latest single, Black Parade, on Juneteenth. Proceeds from that song will benefit Black-owned small businesses in need through her initiative, Bay Good. To see a 1-minute clip of the upcoming visual album, you can head to Beyoncé's website, Beyonce.com.
I've got a news story for a future episode, Patrick.
Oh, yeah?
Disney Plus crashes upon the release of Black is King.
Oh, man, I fully see that in our future. As of this recording, I feel like that's going to happen.
As of this recording, you do.
Yes.
Patrick.
Adam.
There we go. We live in an uncertain time, don't we?
I was uncertain how you were going to start this segment. So, yeah, we sure do.
As was I. It just highlighted, I think, how uncertain things are. The fact that you were like, do I say something? Do I not say something? I don't know. But we need to embrace this moment as like a true representation of the wackadoo times we're living in.
Whack-a-don't. Go there, Adam. Whack-a-don't.
No, we are absolutely wackadoo going there, my friend. It's a time full of questions, full of uncertainty. When will this pandemic be over? Will the United States economy ever recover? We don't know these things, but maybe we do. And maybe our Tweedledees are asking the same thing. And you know what? We're going to answer these questions. Not those questions, but we're going to answer their questions.
We can answer some of those questions.
We can. We really can. I think the answers are both no.
Well, according to Disney, the world will be back up on July 11th. So there we go. We've answered it.
There we go. July 11th is the date. You heard it here first. But our Tweedledees wrote into us with their questions, and we're going to answer them in one of our favorite segments, Questions and Peter Panswers with Adam and Patrick.
Hooray!
Questions were submitted via Instagram at GDTD Podcast. They were sent in via email at info@gazetothed.com. And so now is the time. Now is the place. Patrick, why don't you start us off?
It would be my distinct pleasure, Adam. In fact, I'm going to start us off with a question that is just for you, my friend.
I'm honored.
Since you weren't here last week, I thought I'd give you some more airtime.
I need it. I need the attention.
You need the exposure. All right. So we have Nick writing into us from Instagram at Jankowski Nick. And Nick says, Adam, you and I share a mutual appreciation for what is undoubtedly the greatest Disney attraction of all time, the Haunted Mansion. I've heard you talk on previous podcasts about the things that make this ride so special for you, the history of its development, the great Imagineers who either influenced or directly contributed to it, the rich narratives that have been deployed over the years about a few of the 999 happy haunts, and of course, the practical effects that make the ride so magical. So I'm curious to know if Josh Tomorrow, chairman of Disney Parks, came to you tomorrow and said, Adam, we want you to update and improve the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion before its 50th anniversary in 2021. And with Florida covered in COVID, you've got the downtime to do whatever needs to be done. What would you do, Adam?
Wow. I'd like to open by saying, Nick, get your own damn podcast. You clearly have the chops, my friend. That statement was gorgeous. Get a podcast. Okay, so oddly enough, Josh Tomorrow did reach out to me. So this is like perfect timing that this question should come up.
Amazing.
And here's what I'm going to say. I don't actually want to make vast improvements to it because I don't believe it needs to be improved. I think one of the things that makes Haunted Mansion so creepy and fun is the fact that it is an older attraction and you're like, oh gosh, the mechanics of this are kooky. Like that's what I feel like when I ride it anyway. But there are some things that I think we can kind of plus on the experience. The first two are to improve the audio in the Doom buggies and also maybe bump up the lighting a little bit. And I don't know if that's because I'm getting older and getting harder of hearing and my sight is worsening, but those are two things that I would like to improve. Do you agree, Patrick?
I do agree. I feel like a quarter of the time that I'm on that ride, the Doom buggy that I get has either no audio at all or very broken and crackled audio.
Okay, good. I'm glad you agree with me. The other improvements I would like to make are I would like to request that the lap bar doesn't jarringly slam into my knees every time I ride the attraction. It hurts.
Fair. That's fair.
Two more requests. I would like a collection bin for people's cell phones and flash cameras.
Amen. Amen to that.
Like maybe there's a little bucket or something, or they get locked into your Doom buggy in a container so that people cannot use them on the attraction, because I do not appreciate those flashes. I know that is not a controversial statement I'm making. I just want to reiterate, do not use flashes on that ride. It ruins the illusion. And my last update on the ride is a snack tray. So like, what if when the lap bar came down, a little door opened up in front of it and there was like a little tray of snacks that slid out and they were all Haunted Mansion themed for you to enjoy while you ride the attraction?
So sensible. It's just smart and sensible. I like it.
Thank you. I think that this was the appropriate way to answer Nick's question.
What is a Haunted Mansion themed snack, Adam?
I think like bubbling blood drink, which, which is an obvious choice. And it's probably like cherry flavored or something like that, like a, carbonated cherry drink. I think there's bone cookies.
Oh,
Patrick?
Yes.
Yeah. And charcuterie board, which has like a battle axe you use to like cut the meats and cheeses and the little olives on it are heads.
Oh, I mean, this is just, yeah, absolutely. Nailed it. Nailed it on the head.
I like to think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Nick, for that wonderful question. We have a couple of more questions coming from Nick. Get a podcast, Nick. All right. Next up, we are going to hear from JJ, who you can find on Instagram at jsquare3. JJ asks, I need some recommendations for a kid-friendly restaurant at Epcot and Animal Kingdom. Is Nomad Lounge a no-no with little ones? For Epcot, I'm thinking Restaurant Marrakesh, but I'm open to suggestions. Patrick, what do you think?
Good question. To start out, I think I'll address specifically the Nomad Lounge and Restaurant Marrakesh. I don't think they're no-nos. I mean, it's Disney, right? It'll be fine to take kids kind of anywhere you go. But do I think they'll be entertained there? Depending on what age, maybe not as much. So I think the parents, you as parents, will enjoy it. And if you need a cocktail, those are great places to go. But it may not be the most entertaining to take your kids to those places.
I agree, Patrick. I think actually I might recommend Nomad Lounge over Restaurant Marrakesh. Just because you'd be able to sit outside if you wanted to, and I think the kids would appreciate that. They would enjoy the view. I don't really know what kind of kid options Nomad Lounge has, but I'm assuming the kitchen has some kind of kids menu.
I'm sure they could whip up a grilled cheese sandwich or something.
But I totally agree with you, Patrick. I think either one of these options are great for adults, and I think the kids will be satisfied if you're satisfied and having fun. I don't know how kids work. Is that how kids work?
That's exactly it. It's
really based on the adult's experience, right?
The kids are second to the adults at all times.
Great. Well, then we've answered this question.
We've answered that question. No, but if you do want some good kid options, I feel like in Epcot, I would say the Garden Grill is a great place to go. Or I really love the Royal Banquet. I believe it's pronounced Akershus in the Norway Pavilion of Epcot. It's a buffet, so if that's not your thing, then maybe stay away from there. Whereas the Garden Grill, they bring food to you. But both are really exceptional character experiences, and your kids will be absolutely entertained. And when it comes to Animal Kingdom, I've only really had quick service there, so I can't really speak to any of the sit-down restaurants, but I will throw my money at Satuli Canteen. For my money, that's the best place to go. It's got really healthy options, and it's really spacious, so you'll be able to find a spot, and it's air-conditioned inside as well.
I know a lot of people like Yak and Yeti, too. I've never been there, but a lot of people swear by Yak and Yeti, so that might be another option.
Yeah, good point.
Or Tusker House, again, character dining. We'll see where we're at when you actually go to the parks, but if character dining is an option, Tusker House is another excellent suggestion.
Indeed it is.
Well, thank you for that question, JJ, and we hope we've helped you along. I think Patrick certainly did. My snarkiness will not be helpful at all.
It never is, Adam. It never, ever is. Well, let's move on, Adam, to Rodri, who is writing into us from Instagram at RodMeetsWorld. Rodri asks, which villain is your spirit animal?
Oh, this is an excellent question, Rodri. My first instinct is to say Ursula, but I think that's just kind of my go-to because I truly identify with her so much.
Okay, fair.
Loner, lesbian, Rubenesque. Tentacled.
Yes.
Likes to wear lipstick that she presses out of a clam. All of these things are me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go outside of the box today, and I'm going to say my villain spirit animal is Frollo.
Oh, my. That's
from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That is terrifying.
I like a nice bowl cut, Patrick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense then.
And in quarantine, that's kind of the only option we have these days. So, Frollo, who are you picking?
I do feel like, Adam, just to go back to Frollo for you, that of the two of us, you are definitely a religious cult leader.
And you know I love smelling a scarf whenever an opportunity presents itself.
Yep. I've seen you do it many times. Many times. Let's see. Who is my spirit villain animal? I would love to say Maleficent, also the Queen of Hearts, but I think I just love them as villains. I don't really identify with them. So if I'm being super honest, it's probably Prince John from Robin Hood. You know, I'm really terrible at being a villain, and I suck my thumb a lot. So there you go.
Yeah. I was going to say, mentioning Maleficent as your villain spirit animal, you think quite highly of yourself, don't you? So nice to avoid Maleficent at all costs. Yeah, I can see Prince John for you.
Yeah. I love wearing pajamas day and night, and I love playing with big snakes, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about Sir Hiss, of course.
Yeah. Is that what we're calling it? Sir Hiss?
Collectively, we're going to start calling it Sir Hiss now. Oh, dear.
Check out his Sir Hiss. He can barely contain that Sir Hiss in his shorts.
Can you send me a Sir Hiss pic?
Oh gosh.
Well, hey, thanks, Rodri, for that wonderful question.
Where do we even go? Do we just end the episode there?
I think we have to end the show, like, fully. We've been canceled.
All right. Blair writes in, Patrick, from Instagram, Blair Asbury, and this is a question just for you, PK. Blair wants to know, Patrick, why do you hate Babu Freak?
I don't hate him. I just don't need him in the movie. I don't. It's not the same, right? It's not the same as hate.
Do you think he's cute?
I do. I think he is a cute character. I think here's what it is. Here's what it is, Adam. I think I just don't like where they put that character in the movie. I feel like C-3PO was owed a little bit more than a super silly cutesy character for that very serious situation he was in. And I get that you need something there to cut the tension of the levity of the situation, but I feel like they overshot it a little bit. It was just too cute for me. I needed him to calm the F down, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, calm the F down like the Ewoks that you love. That's what you mean, right?
Yes, exactly. Also, I don't trust anyone who's my size.
Patrick, you've got a good 2 or 3 inches on Babu Freak.
Are you talking about my Sir Hiss again?
I'm not. Actually, your Sir Hiss in no way compares to Babu Freak's. You should not be comparing your Sir Hiss to Babu Freak's.
Nothing compares to you.
There's a reason they call him Babu Freak. You know what I'm saying? He's a freak.
Hey-o.
Oh, well, Patrick, I think you've made some very valid points about your distaste, really hatred for Babu Freak. Yeah, hatred.
I don't hate him. I just absolutely don't like him. Well, thank you, Blair. I really appreciate you highlighting the hatred that's in my heart. Well, let's move on, Adam. We have an email, actually, from our listener, Jason. Jason says, I know we all love Disney music from the animated classics, but I'm curious as to if you have some favorite songs from Disney live-action films. I'll frequently listen to I'd Like to Be You for a Day from the opening credits of Freaky Friday before going to bed. Interesting choice. Without looking it up, do you know who the 2 singers are for that song? I actually do know the answer to that. Do you, Adam?
I think it was Captain and Tennille, wasn't it?
Almost. You're actually very close.
Was it Donnie and Marie?
It was not Donnie and Marie. It was actually the movie's 2 lead stars, Jodie Foster and Barbara Harris.
Wow, they pulled a double duty, huh?
I mean, yeah, the song was kind of a double duty. You know what I'm saying?
Did Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis update the song when they remade the film?
That would have been an amazing idea. I actually think, Jason, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think that song was nominated for an Academy Award.
It was a simpler time.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I'm assuming that song is in the musical too, right? I really don't know, but is it in the stage musical?
I don't know anything about the stage musical, so I could not answer that question.
Either do I. All right, Patrick. So, music from live action films. Do you have any favorites?
I do. I don't know if it counts. Tell me if it counts or not. But I would say Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns, I listen to quite frequently. Actually, I love the music from those movies.
Yeah, that counts. Absolutely.
Okay. Good. And then I would say my very favorite song from a live action movie, but again, it may not count because there's an animated dragon in it. I'm talking about Pete's Dragon, but the song Candle on the Water, I really love that song.
Also counts. I'll allow it.
Thank you. Thank you. What about you?
I'm going to bring up Enchanted, Patrick.
Oh, okay.
I love the song. Is it called How Does She Know? When they're going through Central Park and like everybody starts joining in. I love a number that builds like that to the point where like a chorus is singing it at the end. And I find that moment very magical in the film.
Such a good answer. I always forget about that movie being a Disney movie. It's so fun. I love it.
Where's that sequel?
Where is that sequel? Where's that stage musical?
These are 2 valid questions. We're just adding to the questions, Patrick. We're just adding to them.
I love that movie had Idina Menzel in it, but they did not let her sing.
It was kind of like a Jonathan Groff and Frozen moment. We're like, we're going to have you in this movie, but we're not going to allow it to happen, really.
Such a good point. Such a good point.
I mean, yeah, he sings in Frozen, but come on, barely.
Yeah, and with a weird voice, too. I wouldn't count it as a song.
Well, thank you very much, Jason, for that question. An excellent question. Moving on, we are going to turn to Chris, a guest on this very podcast. You can find Chris on Instagram at wishful_thinking. That's thinking with no I's, THNKNG. Chris asks, you're 7 years old. Your parents tell you that you can get new themed bed sheets with any Disney characters you want. What would the 7-year-old you pick? And what if you were 7 in 2020?
Ooh, okay, so let me unpack this for a second. So what would we have picked when we were 7 years old way back in the 1930s? And then what would we pick? What would we pick now if we were 7 years old? Is that accurate? Is that his question?
That is his question, yes.
Got it. I think I actually had these bed sheets. DuckTales is what I had. So I would say DuckTales because it's my truth, Adam.
And you have them to this very day.
I wish. I love DuckTales.
So 7-year-old you is picking DuckTales, or you did pick DuckTales.
Mm-hmm.
7-year-old me is going to pick, gosh, I don't know if I actually had Disney sheets or not, but if I was allowed to pick of any Disney sheet set when I was 7, it would probably have been Cinderella. And boy, oh boy, that would have been a big red flag. Or a big red, no, I'm not going to say it. A big red flag. My parents would have been like, yep, we have confirmation. I mean, the Peaches and Cream Barbie purchase was not enough. The sheets would have put me over the top. I think Cinderella bed sheets would have been the jam. They would have been the tea. They would have been very hot, very sparkly. There would have been a sequence where you'd see her dress change. I would have loved them.
I love it. That's a great answer. Okay, so what if you were 7 now? What would be your bed sheet choice?
Cinderella bed sheets.
Same. Okay, got it.
And I would like them to come with a matching pajama set that was actually her ball gown. So I would sleep in her ball gown.
That feels correct for you. That feels absolutely correct for you.
Comfort, luxury. What about you? You're 7 years old now, not far off from your emotional age. What are you choosing for your bed sheets now, Patrick?
I was just going to say, if you were to look at my bed now, you might think a 7-year-old sleeps there. Because one, it is not made. My bed is not made, but it is covered with Disney plush, specifically Stitch. So I feel like I would choose Stitch, but I have a Stitch pillow and a Stitch plush that is very comforting in the nighttime.
Yeah, I believe that. I see you sleeping in Stitch sheets.
And when you say that, you mean you are watching me sleep? Is there a nanny cam in my Stitch, Adam?
Oh. Yes, there is.
Got it. Okay, that's fair. Congratulations to you, you know what I'm saying?
It feels like I should be bringing up Sir Hiss again in this moment, but I will not do it. I won't do it.
Amazing. Well, let's move back to Nick, Adam. He sent us another amazing question, specifically for Amanda. He says, Amanda, I really enjoyed listening to you reminisce with Patrick during episode 95 about your extended Disney trip. I especially enjoyed hearing you reflect on your half marathon experience. I'm a big fan of Run Disney events, and I believe they are always trying to grow and evolve their program to keep people coming back. But I also think they sometimes totally miss the mark. I still haven't figured out why Club Run Disney exists. As a new Run Disney convert with a fresh perspective based on your 2020 half marathon experience, is there anything about the Run Disney experience that you think they could improve upon, or some way in which they could make your Run Disney experience even more magical?
We have a response from Amanda, and here it is.
Hi, Nick. Thanks so much for your question. I had to think about this for a while because, to be honest, everything leading up to the day of the event was just packed with Disney magic. I felt like Disney was great about giving me resources for training, making sure I was healthily prepared for that day, and also there was all kinds of Disney encouragement along the way. I came up with 2 things that I think might just improve some of the magic on the day of the run. The first one is to have some different kinds of photo and character experiences along the route. I ran the half marathon, and that takes place, as you know, mostly on the highway. And so the lines to have character photos taken were really substantial. So Patrick and I made the choice more often than not to avoid those opportunities. So if there was something that they could do along the race path that would give people an opportunity to just do a sort of run-by photo op, I think that would be fantastic. The mile markers are all pretty beautiful, so we stopped to take a few of those, but maybe some things with characters would be useful. The other thing I can think of that I think would make all of the difference for Disney runners is to have a different kind of audience experience. My entire family, well, my immediate family, was there at Disney and in Orlando on the morning that I ran, and it was my first half marathon. So it would have been really exciting to have my parents and my sister and brother and their kiddos there to watch and to cheer Patrick and me on. But they couldn't, it was an expensive ticket and it didn't feel useful to buy that package for everyone. And so I would say if there's a way that they could set up an audience viewing experience where people who just want to cheer you on as you run by could participate without it being cost prohibitive, that would be something I think would make a huge difference. Thanks very much for your question, and I hope to see you out there at one of these Run Disney events.
Well, there you go, Nick, straight from Amanda.
I feel like if Nick and Amanda were to have their own podcast, it would be 7 hours long.
I want to hear it, though.
Yeah, I mean that in the best of ways. They are both very well-spoken, but very verbose people. But great points, Amanda. Those are excellent points. I do wish that there were more run-by quick photo opportunities for Run Disney that incorporates the characters or the parks in some way that you don't have to stay in a long line to participate with. And yeah, I agree that there should be a better, more cost-effective or cost-efficient way for your family to cheer you on. There are some spots near the resorts that they can sneak into, not sneak into, but they can find you in, but it's pretty hard to spot somebody there and to time it out well. So I agree with you on both counts.
All right, moving on, we have a question from Kim. You can find Kim on Instagram at Kim Chi. That's Kim with 3 M's. Kim asks, how did you and your partners meet? I love a good meet cute story. If you guys don't mind talking about it, of course. Patrick, do you mind?
No, not at all.
I do not mind, Kim. I'll just tell you that I saw Matthew in a Fringe show here in Minneapolis, and I thought he was adorable. And then we were casting a show that I had written, and we needed to fill a role. And so I suggested that we bring in Matthew to audition for the role because I thought he'd be a good fit. He didn't end up getting the role, but then after his audition, he poked me on Facebook. Is that still a thing? You can poke people?
Oh, my. Oh, I don't think you can anymore.
So he poked me, and we ended up getting coffee, and the rest is history.
Ooh, I like it. That's a very cute story. I love that.
What about you, Patrick? How did you and Dan meet? It was Scruff, right?
It was actually prison. We met in prison, Adam.
Oh, sweet.
No, not as cute of a story, but it is a very now story. We met on Match.com. So we both matched, went on a date, and got married the next day.
It wasn't Christian Mingle?
It may as well have been. It may as well have been.
Farmers only?
Yeah, farmers only. The restaurant that we had our first date in is now closed down, so that does not bode well for our future, I feel like.
The Happy Gnome?
The Happy Gnome closed down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think they were like because of embezzling or something crazy. Something weird happened. which feels correct. Which feels absolutely correct.
Charming.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for that question, Kim. Let's move on. We have another email, Adam, from Auntie Myrna, who writes to us with a hilarious question. She says, spill the tea, hunties. I would love to know each of your top 5 all-time fave RuPaul Drag Race queens and pourquoi. That means why in French. Feel free to do a top 3 for time conservation purposes. Well, thank you for that option, Auntie Myrna.
I don't need time conservation. I know exactly who my top 5 are.
Oh, spill the tea, Adam.
Well, you know I love comedy queens, so I'm going Trixie Mattel, Bianca Del Rio,
sensible,
Bob the Drag Queen, Monique Hart, I find her hilarious,
yes,
and Kim Chi.
Oh, excellent choices. Excellent choices.
Thank you so much. Patrick, what about you?
I would say I love, in no particular order, Jinx Monsoon.
Hey, there's a documentary about her on Amazon Prime. Have you seen that?
I have. It came out quite a while ago. It's really good.
It did. I just happened to watch it last night. Continue, please.
Thank you. I love Shangela, of course. Shea Coulee is maybe my number 1 right now. She's doing some amazing, amazing social justice work, and it's inspiring to see. I love Bob the Drag Queen, and to match your love of Trixie Mattel, I love Katya.
See, now all the queens you listed, I'm like, oh yeah, like they could also be in my top. There's too many delicious drag queens to choose from.
It's true. And yeah, my list changes all the time, but I think Jinx Monsoon is always in my top list.
Yeah, Trixie will always be in my top for sure. Well, thank you, N.T. Myrna. That was an excellent question, and I'm sure we'll be talking about Drag Race in our upcoming episode of Raw and Uncut.
It's very inevitable.
Just try and stop us. You can't do it.
Mm-mm.
Next up, we heard from Tarek. You can find Tarek on Instagram at Tarek_Akbik. Tarek asks, with the new park reservation system and annual passes only getting 3 reservations at a time, what 3 parks would you pick and why, Patrick?
Interesting question. I like that. I would say Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. I feel like right now I'm kind of cool on waiting for Epcot's facelift. That's hopefully going to still happen. I just feel like because we have limited Disney resources right now, I want as much of that Disney experience as possible. And I feel like Epcot offers the least amount of Disney magic.
See, I was going to list Epcot, which will be a surprise to no one, but you've made a very good case for not going to Epcot.
You can still use Epcot, Adam. Don't let me change your mind, but you should change your mind.
I'm still going to list Epcot because I love Epcot. So Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom would be my 3 choices.
Wow, not Magic Kingdom. Offensive.
I feel like Magic Kingdom is just going to be covered in COVID.
Oh, gross. I like that you can't suspend the disbelief for just 1 second.
Tainted, Patrick. It's tainted.
Well, it's painted. That's for sure. The castle.
That castle is painted and tainted. Okay.
Okay.
Great question, Tarek.
Great question indeed. Well, let's move on, Adam. We have a question from one of our previous guests on the pod, Anna, who is on Instagram at Anna Weg. Anna asks, which Disney character would truly flourish in a quarantine? Great question.
Great question. I mean, there's the obvious Rapunzel, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because she has lived that quarantine life. But I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to head back to the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo, because he sees stone objects come to life, so he already has quarantine friends.
It's true, and he's crafty. He made the entire village.
You're right.
As a craft project.
So he has an activity to keep him busy.
Sensible, so sensible.
Which character do you think would flourish in quarantine, Patrick?
Though I wouldn't want to put him in quarantine because his only wish was to not be in quarantine, I feel like the genie has already done his work and knows how to be in quarantine.
Such a great choice, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
And assuming that he's the free genie or the free G, he can have all the space he wants in quarantine. He could be quarantined in a palace, like he just has room now. He doesn't have to be stuck back in a lamp.
That's right. That's right. And the Cave of Wonders, I would stay there. That'd be fun.
Jewels, coins.
Get that coin.
Carpets.
It's all there. It's all there for the taking.
Thank you for that question, Anna. Thank you for contributing. Let's grab dinner when we can.
Yes, please.
Sometime in 2024. Moving on, we heard from Patrick, who you can find on Instagram at Freshness is Essential. And I agree. Just because you're in a quarantine doesn't mean freshness is not essential. Freshness is essential. Patrick asks, which e-ticket attraction would you remove at the parks, and with what would you replace it?
Ooh, great question.
Let me set the parameters on this, Patrick. Are we replacing it with an existing attraction from another park, or are we creating an attraction to replace it?
Such a good question to clarify. I feel like it is your choice of how you want to answer.
It's very diplomatic of you.
Listen, I'm not going to put parameters around somebody else's question.
So what do you think? What are you removing and what are you replacing it with?
I feel like I'm going to get some hate mail for this, but I'm going to get rid of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and I would replace it with maybe just a better version of that ride. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. It's not my favorite ride.
I have a follow-up. What is a better version of that ride? Like, what? Just, you mean like more intense or
Yeah,
what?
I don't know. Just anything that is better than what it is. I just feel like that ride has such a long wait time and has such love, and I don't understand why. I know that it is a kid-friendly ride, and that's part of it, and there's not a lot of kid-friendly rides that are also roller coasters, so I get it. I totally get it. It's just it's just not for me. It doesn't do it for me. It didn't give me that magic that I was expecting when it first opened.
I get it. I get what you're saying. And I don't disagree with you at all.
Well, thank you so much. What about you? What would you say?
Is Mission Space considered an e-ticket attraction?
I feel like it's on the cusp. I don't know. It used to be for sure, but I don't think it is anymore.
It's a P-ticket attraction for puke. Puke ticket attraction.
Gotcha.
Okay, so maybe it's not an e-ticket. I don't know. But I would definitely get rid of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
And what am I putting in its place? I don't know, a bathroom or like a nice sit-down area? I don't care. Like, just...
I would plant a tree instead.
Just give back to Mother Earth and say thank you for putting up with this mess of an attraction for so many years. A picnic area.
There you go. A dog relief area.
A recycling center.
There you go. I like this. See, go green with it. So maybe a Wall-E attraction.
Great. There we go. Patrick, thank you for answering my question. I want to replace it with a Wall-E attraction and a picnic area.
Perfection. All right, Adam, we have one more question from Nick. He has a lot to say on this episode. He's trying to impede upon our podcast, and I'm okay with it. Nick says, oh, actually, it's a question for me, Adam. It looks like you should read this one to me. I feel so special.
All right. Nick says, Patrick, anyone who saw you in Peter and the Starcatcher, which I did, Patrick was fantastic. A Chris Smith Carol, I saw that too. Patrick was fantastic. Or The Littlest Angel. What's that?
It is. I was maybe 14 years old. It's based off of a children's book called The Littlest Angel, where a child goes to heaven and has to find her way around amongst all the angels.
Sounds delightful.
Yes.
The Littlest Angel. All right. So anyone who saw Patrick in those shows obviously knows that your star shines brightly. Shine bright like a diamond, Patrick. But unfortunately, with the passing of James Lipton back in March, we have lost our opportunity to hear you being interviewed by one of the greats. But we still want to know. Okay, so this is James Lipton asking you all these questions as he did on Inside the Actors Studio. I'm going to give you my James Lipton impression for each of these questions, Patrick.
Fantastic.
All right. What is your favorite word?
That's a really good impression, actually. I think my favorite word, oh, I'm so corny, is the word joy. I like how it sounds.
Joy. It does sound like what it means, right? Joy.
Yeah, it's what's it called? An onomatopoeia?
Onomatopoeia. I hardly know him.
Oh, dear.
That didn't work. I'm surprised you didn't say whiskey. Number 2. What is your least favorite word?
I think the word ugly really doesn't sit well with me.
What turns you on?
Spider-Man. No. Tom Holland. Laughter. Laughter turns me on.
Also could have been whiskey. What turns you off?
What turns me off? You know what shuts me down is when people are condescending. That automatically makes you want to leave the room.
Oh, is that what turns you off?
Exactly. So anytime we have a conversation, Adam, I'm immediately turned off.
What sound or noise do you love?
You know what? I love the sound of a French horn.
Oh, interesting.
It's such a beautiful sound that is like very specific to a French horn, and I love it. It just like resonates with me.
Is your Sir Hiss just constantly erect at Christmas?
Oh my God. The answer is yes.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate the sound of sirens. It like makes my spine tingle or something.
Great answer. That's a great answer. What is your favorite curse word?
Shit. Shit. It's I don't know, I love that word shit. It means so many things too. Like you can be the shit or you are a shit.
You know, what's truly hilarious is that each time you say that is going to be beeped out on this podcast. So figure it out, people. Figure it out. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
You're getting a little Darth Vader-y now, and it's kind of amazing. I would like to be a baker. I love baking.
What profession would you not like to do?
A candlestick maker. No, I would say I would not like to be a lawyer or a judge. That's too much responsibility that I do not want to be in charge of.
You don't want to be a judge, but you like to judge.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to judge people, but I don't want to decide their fates.
And lastly, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I mean, do we think I'm actually going there? Who knows?
You're going to heaven.
Oh, I did in The Littlest Angel, so that bodes well for me. I feel like God would do a good impression of Martin Sheen in my favorite TV show, The West Wing, and he would say, "What's next?"
Interesting.
Yeah. He lets me decide.
That's great. So do you think God is saying you haven't done enough? Or like, what do you want to do next?
I think he... Probably the first, but hopefully the latter one. I'm a realist.
Well, there you have it, Nick. All of Patrick's answers to Inside the Actor Studio's questions.
That was really fun. Thanks for that question. Or multiple questions. Thanks for those 10 questions.
And thanks to all of the Tweedles who wrote in with their questions. We sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you so much. These are always one of our favorite episodes to do, I have to say.
And we always have another Questions and Peter Pantsers segment on the horizon. So if you would like to submit a question for that segment, you can reach out to us on social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast.
Or you can always leave us a voice memo or an email at info@gaysdothed.com.
Did we actually see your death in The Littlest Angel?
No, you didn't find out how I died. Fun fact, though, we all got to choose our professions in heaven. And I chose to be heaven's janitor, so I was the jubilant janitor. I was the custodial staff for heaven.
Well, that explains why your favorite curse word is shit.
That's fair. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Patrick.
It's everyone's favorite time. It's Quick D time.
I love, I live, I laugh Quick D time.
Does Quick D time give you life, Adam?
It gives me all the life, mainly because I know that when we reach this portion of the episode, I'm that much closer to peeing.
You don't just do it while you record. I've been peeing for the last 35 seconds.
Is that your secret?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a secret. I mean, you can't hear that?
I hear it. I hear it. Are you having a simulcast with your OnlyFans right now?
I am. Sirhiss.com.
Sirpiss.com.
Oh no. All right, we got to move on quickly, Adam, because that was disgusting. We are doing Imagine Queering today for our Quick D segment.
I love to imagine queer.
As do I, Adam, as do I. For those who don't know, Imagine Queering Quick D is where Adam and I choose an attraction from Walt Disney World or from Disneyland, and we gay it up a little bit. We throw some pixie dust, some glitter, and make it a homosexual ride.
A homosexual experience. We zhuzh it.
We do. We zhuzh it up. Are you ready for our Imagine Queering attraction, Adam?
I am, and I can certainly see that you are, because your Chewbacca mug is filling up the entire Zoom screen right now. His eyes are so blue.
Chewbacca wanted to be in the Zoom where it happened.
Hamilton.
All right. I'm reaching into Chewbacca's head to pull out the attraction. No explanation needed there, I feel like, for our Tweedledees who are listening in. We are imagine queering Peter Pan's flight, Adam.
Wow. This is a big one.
That's what she said.
Patrick, if we screw this up, we are going to have some serious apologizing to do.
That's fair. I mean, it's pretty gay already, right? We've got fairies, mermaids, and pirates. What more do we need?
Are pirates gay? I mean, Jack Sparrow's gay, or at least, like, he's what? What's it called when you like everything? Pansexual?
He's pansexual. He's fluid. He's Peter Pansexual.
Peter Pansexual. Maybe it's Peter Pansexual's flight.
I like this idea. We're keeping the mermaids.
Yeah, for sure.
We're adding more fairies. I mean, when we get on the ride, there's 2 more fairies.
Right. And maybe when you take off, first of all, you don't just like automatically enter a nursery. Maybe you enter like a sex dungeon.
That's, wow, you... You came to a knife fight with bombs just now.
I mean, doesn't that seem like the obvious progression since we're gaying this up? It's not a nursery, it's a sex dungeon.
Got it. Yep. Because that's the only way to be gay, right?
That's correct.
Got it. So you might say we are 2 pirates looking for booty.
You might say that, and you just did, and I applaud it.
Thank you so much.
It's also a ride just for us now. No one else can go on it. Or you have to be wearing like super short shorts or a rainbow fanny pack to be able to ride that ride.
Mm-hmm. And instead of a ride vehicle, you're just simply harnessed onto some cables. And so you are actually flying.
That actually sounds really fun.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah, like I really want that experience.
And sex dungeons always have harnesses, so it's a real good match.
It sure is. It can actually BYOH, bring your own harness.
Yes, I generally walk around Disney World with my own harness.
So we get through the sex dungeon.
Yeah.
Maybe Sir Hiss is there, maybe not, but he's probably there.
Yeah, he's always there. Like Santa. He always knows.
And as we fly over London, how has London changed? How have we gayed up London? It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. It's going to probably just include the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race UK.
Bag of chips.
Bag of Chips is just screaming at us as we fly over London.
Bag of Chips is just screaming at us, and she's sitting atop Big Ben.
Just saying, much better.
Much better.
That's hilarious only to those who have seen RuPaul's Drag Race UK.
And we fly towards that second star to the right, and we enter Neverland, and Neverland is now a gay bar. It just seems like an obvious choice. Could not a gay bar be called Neverland? Would that not be fun?
100%. I would attend that bar. I would patronize that bar. Not in California right now because they're closed down.
It's not in California. It's actually in Boise. It's very exclusive. It's in Boise.
Got it.
You have to charter a jet. But as you said, fairies, check. Mermaids, check. We're going to get rid of the very insensitive depiction of Indians.
Yes. That nonsense has to go.
And we're going to replace them with
a more appropriate cultural representation of indigenous people, Adam. That's what we're going to do.
Wow. I love it. You know what? I love it because we need that check. We need to be kept in check. We need that moment of wokeness in the ride. We need to be reminded that Disney was very insensitive, and we need to pay respect to that community.
Exactly.
Captain Hook is Captain Hooka.
Captain Sex Worker.
Captain Sex Worker and his live-in boyfriend, Mr. Smee, because Mr. Smee is definitely a friend of Dorothy, right?
Well, he was when I played him in Peter and the Starcatcher, Adam, so yes.
And instead of a battle on Captain Hooker's ship, we witness a rave.
A dance-off, maybe.
Because why not?
Absolutely. A dance-off between Peter Pansexual and Captain Sex Worker. And of course, the ride ends with everyone's favorite fairy, Twinkerbell, bringing us home.
Twinkerbell. Her first name is actually Bruce.
Bruce Bell.
BB.
That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See ya real soon.